My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review for The Strangers Prey by Night, and this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But this is a movie I did not like when it came out, but I just rewatched it for the first time, and I think it's a perfectly fine movie. It's not great, it's not as good as the original, but it's entertaining enough. Let's begin talking about my biggest issues with this movie, and I think some of the writing is really bad. The family drama in this movie is just so heavy handed, and there's no sense of nuance to it. Like, the characters are saying exactly how they feel. I also think the first half has some attempts at being scary that completely fall flat. Uh, Okay, and there are some jump scares I really don't care for. And I'm a defender of jump scares. I think jump scares are fun. But what I don't like is fake jump scares. Where you think something scary is going to happen and bah, it's just someone doing a joke. Or bah, it's a dog. And this movie does that a couple times, not a fan. I also find that the villains can seemingly teleport every now and again. Like, there's one scene where the girl's getting chased, and then she runs into a trailer, and there's a Jack in the Box, and she goes to investigate it, and then the killer is under the bed, the same one that was chasing her. And I'm just like, wait, how did she get there? Like, how did she teleport? And there are certain instances where it felt really contrived. Like, the son wouldn't shoot someone, and I don't know, by that point, I feel like he would. I also feel like even though this movie is like an hour and 25 minutes, it can still drag every now and again. But I would say my biggest issue with this movie is the setting. It takes place in this trailer park, kind of, and just every inch of this place, every area you see looks exactly alike. It's trailer, open field, trailer, open field, trailer, open field, and then the pool area. So like 95% of this movie looks exactly the same, and it just makes it seem very dull. I like it when movies show you the area so you can become familiar with certain landmarks or whatever. Like the beginning of Don't Breathe, where we get a tour of the house at the very start. But then we get to my positives, and I think all the performances are pretty good. Christina Hendricks, I think, does a perfectly fine job. You've got Martin Henderson, who I liked in X, and I think he does a fine enough job with the material he's given to work with. Billy Madison, I like her as an actress. I'm a big fan of Bridge to Terabithia. That is a very underrated movie, and I think it's just devastating and deserves more credit. And she's also in Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, a movie that I love, and I think she does a really good job here. She can become a bit too angsty in the first half, but when all the shit's going down, she's really good. Then you've got Lewis Pullman, who I liked in Bad Times at the LOL, and I think he does a really good job here. And I like how the latter two performances I mentioned, they actually feel like brother and sister. And now this movie's directed by Johan Roberts instead of Brian Patino, and I think he does a good job for the most part. Like I said, there's some attempts at being scary that fell flat, but it also does have its effective moments. There's some nice tension, and there is one jump scene at a playground that got me really freaking good. I also like how the characters actually fight back against the villains in the last act and how they aren't invincible. It gets me more invested than if the villains are immortal and just can't die. I also like how when the mom dies, you feel the weight of it. It's actually a pretty sad moment, and same thing when the dad dies. Yeah, so like I think this movie has weight when it needed to have it. Did the brother die? Like, do we ever get an answer to that? Like, he's on the verge of dying, but did he? I don't know. But anyways, that still has some weight to it as well. And I think the 80s style of this movie really works. The musical score by Adrian Johnson, I think, is great. It reminded me of John Carpenter in moments. And I think the movie is well shot. There's some nice atmosphere. And I like the constant zoom-ins. It reminded me of Avatar in that regard. So, yeah, I do got some issues. It's well acted though. It's well directed. And it does have one standout moment. The pool scene is absolute perfection. It is just perfect. I love the lighting and colors. It is a stunning moment. The total eclipse of the heart is a perfect song choice. And I love how the music cuts in and out while the characters are bobbing in and out of the water. And when the son gets killed or stabbed, I love the look of all the blood into the blue water. It's just an incredibly well done moment that does elevate it. Whenever I rewatch this movie, I will always look forward to it. And it takes place in the last 20 minutes. Oh, and one last thing. I guess my other issue with this movie is that the ending is completely unsatisfying. It just did nothing for me. It just felt abrupt. But I do like this movie. I think it's fun enough. It's effective enough. It's never great. Well, that's not true. It is great once. But for the most part, it's not great. And yeah, there's definitely issues to be had. But it's just a fun slasher movie. So I'll give The Strangers Prey by Night a 6 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Strangers Prey by Night? I love that title, by the way. But what did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.